thank you, Mr. Thomas, for always providing such a heightened point of morale with our musical selection. Welcome to the Sarah Stevenson Tuesday Forum. My name is Winston Robinson. I am today's facilitator, along with co-facilitators, Ms. Laura McCletty, Ms. Cornelia Ivory, Ms. Jackie Edwards-Walton, Ms. Nathalie McElrath, Ms. Mary Johnson. We have Steve Johnston, our website editor, and Ms. Sarita Sherrill, our chaplain. Our forum runs from 8:30 a.m. to 9:45 a.m., at which time we will pause for announcements from the audience. Announcements can also be sent to Steve at sjohnston, with a T, at tuesdayforumcharlotte.org. We always begin with a prayer. We ask Ms. Sarita to please lead us in prayer.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Let us say together, God, you are amazing.
God, you are amazing.
To our Creator, you healed us.
You heal us.
But you don't give us bandages for our wounds.
But you don't give us bandages for our wounds.
Your power heals broken hearts.
Your power heals broken hearts.
And rule from within.
And rule from within.
Inside out.
Inside out.
Because you care about us. Every part of us. Every part of us. Because you care about every part of us. Please, Creator, bless this nation.
Please, Creator, bless this nation.
From inside out.
From inside out.
Bless our state.
Bless our state.
Remember our children all the time.
Remember our children all the time.
Bless our county.
Bless our county.
Our many different communities.
Our many different communities.
In your Son Jesus' name we pray.
In your Son Jesus' name we pray.
And let's say together.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sarita. So today is one of my favorite renditions of Tuesday Forum, if you will. This is open forum. This is the way we pretty much set the tone going forward for the future of how we engage Tuesday morning forum. We get to hear the thoughts and opinions of our loyal, our faithful, our audience, to see what's on the minds of members of our community. And we just get to talk. We get to kind of bounce ideas and see what's important to us. You know, with that said, there is no topic that isn't that's off the table. So if you have something on your heart, something on your mind that you think is important to this community, right now you have the opportunity to raise your hand and come on. Yeah, what we got? So we got Miko, and then we have Ms. McCletty.
Well, I just wanted to tell you that we talked about, we don't know who's going to be here, but we want to give everybody at least 5 minutes. 5 minutes to talk and share, and then in that 5 minutes will include the question and answers that you would have once one presents whatever it is that they're presenting. And after everybody that would like to speak about something, then we'll just start all over again.
Gotcha. Thank you for that point of clarity. I'll let you go. Come on up to the front. You go grab a mic. This is important. People got to hear what you got to say. So, Miko, you have 5 minutes. Please introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are and let's talk.
How you keeping the time? Who's keeping the time? I'll keep it. Okay.
Y'all ready now?
Wait, no, let me get to my clock.
One important housekeeping rule with the new microphones: when you talk, when you speak into it, hold it directly. There we go.
Okay, I'm Miko McCarthy. I'm also the vice chair for the Community Relations Committee. One of the things that I have noticed through a lot of the Tuesday morning forums, I've not seen an opportunity for any youth to be on the panel. So I think we can talk about all the things we want to do for the community, but if we're not getting the kids involved, we're really chasing our tails, because everything that we're doing, we're actually doing it for the kids. So I think it's an opportunity to start having a shared space for them to come in. Summer is out, so they can come in, and this is an opportunity to let them tell you what they expect from their CMS representatives or whoever, or where it goes to their principals, their schooling, their concerns and issues from community safety, events, elected officials. I just think that's a good opportunity to start giving the youth more of a platform. Everybody has a platform, but we're skipping the kids, and I think that's where we're dropping the ball at.
Thank you so much, Miko. You know some kids? I don't. Bring them.
I just did a whole youth event. I did a sip and paint with the youth, and I had Honorable Judge Mobley. Judge Mobley. She came and attended and talked to the kids about conflict resolution and understanding the word assault. Also, I had C.T. Anderson. She came in and she did an etiquette class, and we just did that over the weekend. So I had like 15 girls.
Okay. Next time you do that after party at Tuesday Morning Forum. Can you bring them? We would love to have. And that's been a. Okay, I'm sorry. Ms. McClady, you got a question, amigo?
Yeah, I have a question, Miko, and I think that's a great idea, and you're right about that. But I want to know that meeting that you just had with what they did, the presentation that
The sip and paint?
Yeah,
okay.
Sip and paint that you had with them. Do you think we would have to draw them in with something like that? Because we right now, as you said, the children, what do you think would be the best idea for us to get to Tuesday, students to come to Tuesday for? What would you recommend?
You could do that as an option. It really don't take much, because I actually went to Family Dollar and bought the canvases. And they come with the paint, the whole little setup. I just bought the sticks, the props for them, and other things. I got pictures I'll show up to you. But it's real easy. It just depends on how you categorize it or what you're exactly trying to do specifically.
Ms. Mary?
Okay, quickly, what day of the week did you do that on?
Oh, I did that on a Saturday.
See, that's our problem, because we are.
But see, that was my choice, not your choice. That's why he's saying on another Tuesday.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that normally on Tuesdays they're in school.
That's why I said it's summer.
Okay. We should, I agree.
What do you think? So again, I don't know if we have capacity to have a sip and paint on a Tuesday between 8:30 and 8:45. What do you think would be conducive to getting kids here for information that is important to them but they don't care about?
Well, it just depends on the activity you choose to create. You can serve breakfast, because I did that. I did breakfast, I did lunch. So I had, it was almost like a 3-day retreat. So I had sleepover with some, then with that, it went to going to the event, and I ran out the rec center. So I rented out for a couple of hours.
Let me ask this, Ms. McClady, Ms. McGilwrath, Ms. Johnson. So if we were to carve out a Tuesday to make it specifically for 18 and under or 21 and under, do you think that is something that?
I think it's a good idea.
No one above that 21.
I mean, it's catered to youth. You can come, but know if you're here, it's going to be driven by a response to young people.
Not unless you plan on asking the kids some questions, and that's the way you want to engage them.
Right. But it's for them, a safe space where they can
where they can be free to speak.
Right.
Because if you really want to know what's in their hearts and minds, you have to think outside the box. You got to meet them where they're at. And if you're not meeting them where they're at, you're not going to never get no insight.
We got 30 seconds. There.
Yeah, I think that one thing we should ask the kids what they want. Because kids can think, and we have a tendency to determine what kids want because we think what we want. But we should ask the kids what they want, or do they want to come, and if you want them to come, I think get through donuts and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much. This is Miko Graham. Uh-oh, phone's on silent, everybody. that 5 minutes, Ms. Miko Graham. Again, this is open. Miko, what's your last name? McCarthy. Who is Miko? Miko McCarthy. I'm sorry, Ms. Miko.
Don't call it by your last name, they might think something different about you.
Ms. McClary,
Yes.
don't you have a 5 minutes that you would like to bless us with?
Okay.
I thought you raised your hand.
Give everybody 5 minutes here.
Wait. Again, hold it up to.
I just wanted us to consider, getting the media back in some way to the Tuesday Forum, with a subject that's going to, as Ken said, they like a lot of, sex and controversy. I don't like necessarily the controversy part of it, but I know that we'll bring the media to, we're not gonna do the sex thing, so, but we need to bring the media to Tuesday Forum, and I think that we should invite them just to see what kind of response that we would get from them. And I think that it would perhaps, if we'll see who's looking or who's listening or who's paying attention to some of the speakers that we are bringing. And we could do that by sending out an invitation to them with some of the speakers that we've had and just some snippets on what's been shared in the Tuesday Forum. And I think that write-up that Steve does after we have different speakers here, that we could possibly get an opportunity to show them that, you know, we're serious. We have the right stuff in place to gather the people in the community, because we are looked at by several different organizations and groups as a gathering place for predominantly Black people. You all know that. And they say they are bringing information to the Black community. That's what they're saying when they come. They're sharing information with the African American community when they come to Tuesday Morning Forum. So I think that we have, like Queen City Metro is here, and I think there's another guy with the newspaper that comes here, but we need to invite some of the other outlets. And if we do that, you know, we talked about getting a better crowd to come to Tuesday Morning Forum. It's a possibility that they may be able to help us with that. In addition to the fact that we do know that we can make announcements, community service announcements on most of the TV stations in Charlotte. And if we can get someone to commit to that, thank you for the youth that's coming in, and you too, Colleen.
Y'all listen to Bob.
I know that's right.
I can run circles around her and never leave my feet.
All right. She said she can run circles around them and never leave her feet. But anyway, we want to I think that if we can get something like that going on, just maybe once or twice a year, that it's a possibility that we can get a little bit more of a group or a diverse group coming to Tuesday Morning Forum. Now, I'm opening it for questions and comments, recommendations for somebody to tell me to shut up and cover.
Well, how much time you got? You keeping your own time. I think you're cheating a little bit.
No, it's 3 minutes and 42 seconds. 43, 44. I'm done.
All right. So, Dad.
Yeah, I think for us to attract kids, I think for us to attract kids, we should at least ask the kids some of the things that they want. You know, because I remember when I was a kid and I got tired of adults determining everything for me. You know, and so I think if we can get a group of kids, we should ask them what they want. You know, because kids think a lot more than we think they do, you know. So that's just my opinion.
All right. Mr. Combs.
Yeah,
get 5 minutes.
No, you can just get to answer the question. Actually, you only have about 30 seconds because it's 5 total minutes.
It's 4:33.
Oh, okay. I'd just like to say, those of you who have been coming to the Tuesday Forum over the years know that I am unashamedly passionate about things and this community. And I make no apologies for that. However, if you've ever been in a courtroom.
Wait a minute, Mr. Combs. Let me pause you for a second. Is this a response to the media for Ms.
Okay.
If you got a response, I was wanted to see if you wanted to answer a question about getting media here.
Okay. Yes, my response would be, if you don't have controversial media, ain't interested.
Now, you can just keep the mic because we can go into your 5 minutes.
Okay, let me start over. Reset.
So again, y'all, for those who are just entering the room, it is open forum. You have 5 minutes to kind of set the tone of things you would like to see for the future of Tuesday morning breakfast, things that are important to you. You get 5 minutes. That includes your question and answers as well. So, Mr. Combs, whenever you are ready.
Well, you heard the first part of it, so let me just continue. Last week, Mike, if you've ever been to a court, you know that when the judge or the lawyers get into some dispute, they have what's called a sidebar, and the judge cuts his mic off so that the people in the jury box and the people in the courtroom don't hear what's being said. Unfortunately, last week, I was holding a sidebar, and the mic wasn't off, and I was apparently louder, and some of you heard something that was not intended for you, and for that, I apologize that you overheard what I do not apologize for saying. So I will be more aware when I talk in sidebar scenarios, but if you heard what I said, I'm sorry that you heard that, but it wasn't really intended for you. Now, my 5 minutes.
You have 4 minutes left.
I have 4 minutes left. I believe to my soul that one of the reasons that this thing has fallen off is we've become too complacent in terms of how we deal with issues and people who come and speak to us. And to that extent, you're seeing the result. And when we allow people to come in and talk to us, and then we allow them to say things that are either totally untrue, misleading, or intended to avoid giving answers, then we are doing a tremendous disservice to the people who have concerns about things in the community and issues. And when that happens, that's when my dander gets real high, and especially when it's cut off and we are left with a misrepresentation, an outright lie, or something that needs follow-up. So for that, again, I'm finished, and if anybody has any questions.
My question is, who in this group that's here, or if you know someone outside of this group, is willing to do the follow-up? Do you know how that will be done, and who would do that? Because that's what we've been absent of, is follow up on everything, because I think we decided, help me, Carlenia and Natalie and Mary and Saritha and Winston, we share information. We bring information to the community, and we have not been in a position to follow up for the Tuesday Forum group that works together. So who would you say that we would ask to follow up?
First of all, I think you, again, misrepresented what I said. I was not talking about outside follow-up. I'm talking about when presenters present and they present things and questions are asked,
And some of those require follow-up, and I will give you a specific example. Last week, the presenter, I made a prelude about my background and the years that we experienced about MBEs, and they were specifically targeting Black businesses. However, over terms and years, things have changed, and now that MBE incorporates a whole bunch of people, and my question was specifically, of that 21%, what percent of it reflects Black people, Black businesses? And he told me 20%, which may have been accurate, but it left a total misrepresentation. He said 20%, and it was a 21%. So then you had to do the math, because he wasn't willing to say that was less than 5% of the total MBE. And that's where follow-up, understanding the truth versus a misrepresentation, and other issues that I had were completely just blown away because I didn't stick around. But nonetheless, I was not speaking about following up outside.
Time. Okay. I'm going to use my 5 minutes to reply to what you just said. It was not your question that was the problem. It was your attitude.
I think I just apologized.
No, you didn't. No, you apologized for people hearing you.
Yeah.
That's what you apologized for. You didn't apologize for your attitude, your facial expressions, your whole demeanor toward the people that are sitting up there. Because when you talk to them, you have an attack mode, a sarcasm. It's a sarcasm that is so unprofessional. And what we have here is we have respect. I don't care if the Ku Klux Klan was sitting up there. We're going to respect them. Okay? We're going to give them the respect. Anybody that comes to this forum, we're going to give them the respect. We're not going to give them these eye rollings and these, turn around, bull blank, That had nothing to do with the mic. You said that loud enough without a mic to be heard. I'm just saying that this is not what I signed up for when I decided to be a facilitator. I don't like people attacking people, being sarcastic to people, making them feel uncomfortable. Now that might be your style, but in this place, this is what we do, and we follow up. If they were saying something that's wrong, we're not going to sit here and argue back and forth with them. What we're going to do is follow up and then come back and even send it to them and say, at the forum you said blah, blah, blah. We can put it on the website. But we're not going to sit here and attack people. Anybody have any questions? Carlene?
I have a comment. Let me get we're trying to record. I don't know if this is something necessarily we should be recording. I just want to say, when you look at this room and you look at Mary and Laura and Sharitha and Natalie and myself and Ken and Winston and Tommy, and I'm not trying to leave anybody out, but we've been here a long time. And I love each and every one of you. And all of us are going to have moments where we're going to maybe say something that is not acceptable to the other. But I was very, very hurt when Ken walked out, because I love Ken. Now, you know what kind of love. Okay. And we love Mary. So I'm glad you guys discussed it, but I believe that we have challenges, but there are not any challenges that can't be resolved. I'm so happy to see you here today. And
you know, and I'm happy that Mary was able to say, because if she didn't feel it, she wouldn't be saying it out loud in the way she said it. So I think we need to move on with that. And I think we do need to focus on what the question is, what Laura asked, is how can we enhance or better? Now my answer to that is I agree with follow-up. We let people, and things, guys, there are gonna be things that with certain speakers that are gonna be controversial. But it is how we say it and approach it. But I do think that if you feel you need a follow-up, you need to indicate, raise your hand or something, that I would like to have a follow-up. And we know that. I tried to take minutes at one time, but taking the minutes is very time consuming and getting them ready and prepared. But it doesn't mean that I would be not willing to say, this is a topic and this is a follow-up. We got to have follow-up, and we need to have it in a timely fashion. And prior to leaving that day, we need to say next steps. These are going to be the items we ask you as a speaker to get back. And if they don't get back, then somebody else, I'll take the notes, but somebody else needs to call the speaker and say, we haven't heard back from you. That's what I suggest.
Okay, now that was, whose 5 minutes? Was it?
That was Ken's 5. No, that was Mary's 5.
Oh, that's not my 5 minutes.
No. You was answering the
Because I
question.
have something else.
Absolutely.
Do you want your 5 minutes now, Carla?
No, but I want my 5 minutes, But we have some people, it might have been, that was Mary's 5 minutes. But we have some people, new people that I met coming in today. We need to make sure we know.
Wait, hold on.
He's in charge. I'm sorry, I'm not in charge. I'm not in charge, baby.
All right, so this is the deal. So we're going to take a point of privilege to kind of extend this 5 minutes to put a pin in this issue. So Ms. Mary, Mr. Ken. Okay, Ms. We're going to enhance this 5 minutes.
Okay, Natalie.
I'm sorry, I forgot about my. It is because we love Ken, and we want to keep Ken happy. It wasn't, now we need to make this clear. Mary reacted because there was a profanity used. That's what we don't allow. That's a cutoff, you are done. We have had people that have been controversial as far as attitude. Ken's not shall we just say Ken's not the only one? But let's make it clear, profanity means you're done. And that's just the rules we have.
All right, Ken, can you respect that?
I do, and what I said, and to whom I said it, again, it was never intended to be an overt thing.
Okay,
That's all.
But see, I'm not concerned about that. My concern is just on a weekly basis, or when you come, you're very sarcastic to the people that sit up there. That's what I'm talking about. Now, the profanity was one thing, but I'm talking about, I think we need to show the people who sit up there respect without eye rolling, without all of this, you know, I mean, if I'm sitting up there and people doing that to me, I mean, I would be not happy with this group, you know, because I think there's a level of respect. I know you're apologizing for what people heard you say, but that's not really the issue. Okay,
Well,
we're done.
all right.
I'm done.
So we'll put a pin in that. We're going to give it to Ms. Carlenia. You want your 5 minutes?
And you can't, in other words, you can't act like Terrell. I would like to take this opportunity to pass around a letter, and the letter, I'm gonna read the letter, but I'm gonna pass around the proposal. But it says, as you know, that yesterday the city council actually approved $65 million to go to River.
for the tennis complex, which is gonna be very great in bringing economic development to the city and the west side. And it's a great opportunity, and I'm glad for that. They also said that they would give $20 million to Eastland Mall. And there's 2 projects left on the table for them to vote on. And I'm here today because I am involved with one of the projects. And that project is an amateur sports complex. And I'm basically asking you for your support. We are actually doing a couple of things, and that is I have a letter here that if you're in support of this, I'd like for you to just give me your name and your community, but it has to be individuals who actually live on the east side. The east side is big. It's the east, west, northwest, and all that. And also, there's a survey, and I'll get your email and you can complete the survey. But it's the community of Charlotte East is asking and said they have to desire the greater East Charlotte community to have council move forward with the option B, which is the option Eastland Yard Indoor Sports Complex for the 29 acres. So they're supporting us. And it says this option will spark sustainable and economic growth. It's going to basically provide about 800 jobs. And what I want to do is connect the East with the West, because I want to make sure that we include Johnson C. Smith with their sports management and their gaming program and use those individuals as interns. This facility, as you will see in there, will have seating for 1,500. It has 10 basketball courts, it has pickleball, it has volleyball, it has soccer, it has an indoor track. It also will have a hotel. Second phase is going to have a ring, a skating ring. So there's a whole lot to it. We'll have like an entertainment complex. And the most important thing, it will bring economic development, and it will have a learning center. My goal is, I do want the kids to go home, but I think there's an opportunity for kids to be with you from 7 to 7. They go to school, they come to the facility, and they not only get recreational, but they get educational as well as cultural opportunities. There will be like dance, gymnastics, and robotics and things like that, all there. It will enhance the growth of the east side. We're also well, I'm not hoping, but we all know that the trajectory is that within 2 or 3 years, what's going to happen to North Lake? Basically, probably the same thing that Eastland. So what not a phase 2 on the west side of town of this? Like I said, this is a $1 billion industry, but it is saying that I want y'all to look at that. And if you do not live on the east side, if you know people who live on the east side, please, if you can, by 6 o'clock today, text me or email me. I will call them. The last thing I want to do is put somebody's name or community on there that doesn't live over there. Will there be an opportunity for people who are not on the east side? Because you will hopefully patronize this. To be involved, yes, but right now I'm just looking for like people like Ken and Eula, and that y'all live on the east. Y'all live in that neighborhood. So I've already looked it up. Your name's on the list. And but I do want you guys to look at it. Any questions? I will be here till 10 o'clock. You can ask me. Thank you.
All right, you got about 15 seconds.
Okay. I'm gonna try not to be sarcastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
But you talk about the 800 jobs and the sustainability of the project. 2 elements of that. Number one, businesses that would be located in there to provide a lot of those services? Or will the general developer, will he be responsible for all of that? And we just pour $20 million into it and he uses it to bring in businesses as he sees fit, and then we're again left out.
Ken, I honestly want to make millionaires. My legacy is to provide opportunities for young people to have jobs. Now, the question you asked about who will benefit, all the business around there will benefit, because if you know anything about, we have a letter of intent from Nike and YBL. We will host AAU tournaments, and you know, because I know Poppy participated in a lot of sports and things. And if you know about how our kids fly to California, Florida, you know, Titus has taken his daughters to Alabama, 300 girls teams. That means they have to eat somewhere. They have to, hopefully this will help those businesses thrive and grow. That is the intent, because it's not for, we're not gonna have restaurants within the facility. We might have a small concession stand within the facilities. So no, it's an opportunity for people surrounding that for their businesses to grow. That's economic development. But it also, when you go down there and you have 300 teams, then that means you have about 200 kids dressed in shorts with a belt, I don't know that belt, but you know, and a nice tie, and they're refereeing. They're finding out there's more to sports than just playing, that they can be the analysts, that they can be working the concession stand, that we want to have character training like, what's the restaurant? Chick-fil-A. We want to make sure that these kids, what we also will have in there is like a fitness center, but also when I had my heart attack, I had to go from Batesville Road all the way to South Park. We want a physical therapy office within there. We want a medical plaza, but I want people to get their certification to be physical therapists so they can go out. From Johnson C. Smith, and I'm not leaving UNCC because UNCC is a part of the East. Yeah. So hopefully that answers.
So we're gonna, as moderator, I'm gonna stretch this out because I feel like this is important for the city. So we have two questions for Ms. Carlene in response to this. Well, three.
Okay, Carrie.
Okay.
So,
After.
a couple of questions. The River District Sports Complex and this sports complex will enhance each other?
The River District will be tennis. It will be mainly tennis, and believe me, it will generate enough money to have, they will have major, I don't even know all the names of those tennis, but they can come in here probably 4 or 5 times a year. They'll generate millions and millions of dollars, I can't tell you. So they want conflict with each other. But, like I said, if the trajectory is for Northlake eventually, and y'all don't go tell the people in Northlake, I said they're going out of business. But
we are streaming live.
Okay, but basically, you have the, what do you call those corners, the main stores are still there, but the little mom and pop stores are leaving. I want to make sure eventually that we in the West go and bid and have a phase 2. It's a $1 billion industry, and it's big enough to have more than one. They also have something in Indian land, not Indian land, what's the
Trail.
Indian Trail. They have something in Rock Hill, and they're making a killing. So it's enough for all of us.
All right, we got a question in the back, then up front. Oh, yes, 2.
Well, I just, is it gonna be public, available to the public? And will it only be indoor, or will there be outdoor as well?
It is available to the public. We will be getting money to make sure nonprofits are involved and engaged in this facility. That is very, very important. There will be, we want to make sure that there's a certain portion of this that is for community use.
That is very, and that is a part of the proposal that we have, that you have community use. Oh, definitely. Now, if you're having a big AAU tournament for basketball or for track, then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that would probably not have as much public use. But Monday through whatever, people have even asked us to consider putting a daycare in close proximity. But why should we put a daycare when we can have people who have daycares around there benefit? So we would probably collaborate with them. So there's a lot of.
So look, we please talk to Ms. Carlini after. We gave you a whole extra 5 minutes. I wasn't supposed to do. I got fussed at twice. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to continue the rules of open forum. If you have a 5 minutes of something you would like to bring forth to have a discussion, please raise your hand. All right, wait, Dad, so you got 5 minutes? So this is what we're going to do. Dad, in the back, Miss, please remind me your name.
Reed.
No,
I don't know.
my good friend, Miss Juanita Bynum, that's it. Not Juanita Bynum, that's the Miss Juanita, and then Miss Nancy Carter. All right? My Miller, excuse me, I'm so sorry. So, Dad, sir, what's your name in the back?
Hello, I'm Red. How y'all doing?
Red. Okay, so Dad, Red, Miss Juanita, then Miss Nancy Carter. All right.
Yeah.
5 minutes apiece.
My question, I just said I don't need 5 minutes, but my question is, I've been coming here for years and years and years, and I want to know, what is the purpose of this? You know, we come, we talk about different things happening in the community, and it goes nowhere. So, what is the purpose of Tuesday morning breakfast? That's what I want to know, and I've been coming here years and years.
I want to answer. I want to respond. And as I said earlier, as long as I have been coming, what I understood and what I have enjoyed and I have learned from is the information that has been shared about different things that affect our community over the years. And I think that's what a lot of people come for, because they want to hear what's going on in the community and what affect our community. And I think I'm saying that this is the purpose of the Tuesday Morning Forum, is to share information with the community about issues that affect our community. And that's why we have open forums, to find out what people want. And it must be okay to you and some of us that are regulars that have been here for over 20 years. So if it's nothing else but a gathering place for us, but information is what I think is the main purpose for us coming to Tuesday Morning Forum.
I remember one of my college professors told me, I just give it to you. What you do with it is up to you. So, you know, yeah. All right, so wait, does Mr. Ken want to respond to?
Yeah.
Because we're still within that 5 minute threshold.
Yeah, we just got
all right.
2 minutes gone.
The original intent was, as Laura said, this was not a do something group other than providing the information and having the people who have the information to come and to present, whatever the issue may have been. We used to would have 40, 50, 60 people representing churches, organizations from fraternities, sororities, political, social, coming to get information about whatever the forum was presenting. And it was then their responsibility to go back to those organizations and groups that they represented, give them that information to come up with some form of action, and then perhaps come back collectively and share what they have made their decision on what they're going to do. And then the community would go in lockstep. And I've only seen that happen in one instance where that happened, and that was in the construction of the new Charlotte Airport, which, as you can see now, has just grown exponentially from the first time it opened. They were
Can you
not,
take your 5 minutes?
oh, well, I was just giving you
You,
background.
now you're not answering the question. Okay.
Well, I did answer the question.
Okay, right, she did too. He has three more minutes left, unless we want to go on to the next question.
Is-
Let's go to the next question.
I think we're done with that.
All right, okay, Red.
I don't y'all turn around. Come on up here. How y'all doing? Y'all okay?
Good morning.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk to you for a little minute. How y'all doing? My real name Willis Jerome Jr. I go by Red. 5 minutes ain't really enough for me or nobody in this room. So I'm gonna say that to say I really don't do a lot of these meetings, but I'm thankful for everybody that does these meetings. Because if I don't do well with people captivating our words with a certain restraint of minutes and time. So respectfully, I'm gonna take all I got for 4 minutes, what I got 30 seconds. Talk to me, keep it reminded. But I want to say that to say our organization is called BUB Great. Mr. Garcia Nelson, as y'all probably all know him, he's always encouraging Red, go to these meetings, go to these meetings. He know me, I'm a doer. I don't sit still long. It's hard, hey, how you doing? And it's hard for me to sit still. So again, you know, I'm glad to be a part because remind yourself y'all are doers, you know, because y'all do this. So what I'm gonna say from an organization, I would like to be able to know, can y'all be a part of the organization BUB Great? Because we need a back-end team. We need to start teaching our organizations how to go ahead and run boards. We need to go ahead and get our fiscal agents. We need to go ahead and get our LLCs, our 501c3s. We need to educate our people. So when we have these big things coming, complexes, I want to be a part of the business of it. I want to be in the table when we discuss this. That's, you know, those are the type of conversations that I like to be in. You know, not that the community, we hear stuff a little late. We hear it late when we're not involved. We become cheerleaders to it. I don't want to be a cheerleader to it. I want to get some money. I want my community to get some money. I mean, seriously. I mean, because everybody in here, if you've been in here for 20 years, financially, we should gain that piece too, TOO. So I just want to say that to say, that's what I like to encourage for our community, is for us to continue to come together. Let's find out what's the infrastructure. With the sports complex, that's amazing. We need that here. I've been managing professional athletes. If we go down to Atlanta has a beautiful complex. What I did not hear in the conversation is a piece of the money that we're letting slip, which is content creation. There's a new elevation of money that's plentiful for our community. But until we start putting that to our community, and that's what we do as an organization, it's content. So we can own the foundation, which we're not doing a well job of that here. But we can at least get a part of this elevation money that's coming across through content creation. What I heard in the first conversation was, that's my time? No. That's my time? Okay, sorry. I really don't need a mic. But okay, sorry. But all that being said, I just want to continue to be a part of these conversations, but also the doing part. Like, you know, let's get it in, man. Let's get into a lot of great things that's happening in our community, but let's become ownerships. Let's become stock owners so we can take care of our family, get a foundation. I'm from the west side of Charlotte. I'm from the west side of Charlotte. I ask all the time, how many of us own some stuff here? Own some stuff. Oh, but again, that's the real of it. And it's not a color thing. It's for those that's from here that we speak the language of ownership, education. With an upper, we got to keep speaking solutions. Let's talk solutions. So as long as we continue to be a solutionist to this, like what you guys have been doing, I'm thankful again. But I want y'all to be a part of also what we have going on as well. BUB Great. So whatever that looks like, man, we need you. You know, we really do. We need every piece of it, whether that's on the board, whether that's education, whether you know how to do your books, whatever you know how to do, so we can stop hearing no. We can stop hearing no. Let's get to the yeses now. Let's be in presence as if we have organization that's in presence. A lot of our organizations have our business together, but we got to act like that. And if we walk by each other, don't act like we got our business together, and we talk out of presence, and we 400 years back, man, we're not doing a change. So I'm encouraged, let's be at presence. Let's be at presence. Let's trust that it's some people around here that's ready, that has the books, that has the board, that has everything that's needed. Yeah. And it's organizations like that. So I say that to say, I would like for y'all to also be a part, the same way I'm a part of you guys, because I'm here. BUB Great. I would like to know, can we start bringing organizations in every Tuesdays to be a part, and y'all become the board for us. the community board, so we can go out here and keep doing the works. So that's what we need. We need the OGs to be power to us folks that's here, that's putting these works in. Because there's a lot of people putting their works in the community. But we got to come together. But it takes y'all, because y'all the OGs in the community. It's gonna take y'all, because y'all do this for how long? 20 years? 40? We need this every Tuesday. Us in the community. So the encouragement is, can y'all say that y'all gonna become the board? The back end for us? Thank you.
We appreciate you, Red. Thank you so much.
I need you. I want you.
All right, that was the full 5 minutes. So we're going to have Miss Juanita.
Thank you. Good morning. So good to be here. It's been a while, but it's like I'm back home again. I just wanted to agree with the brother. Those that have spoke earlier, I'm in perfect agreement with what you said in terms of the news media, getting the young people. And the other thing he said, he took some words right out of my mouth. We've been talking about waiting for 40 acres and a mule. It's not coming. Let's get our own acres and a couple of mules. So I'd like to get someone in here to talk about wealth building, and for generations to come. What does the Bible say in terms of helping your children's children? We need wealth. So we can get somebody, I'm sure some of us know it already, but to those of us who are not as astute as we could be about buying things that increase in wealth, not those things that decrease as soon as you take them off the parking lot. So that's what I want to say, and I hope that we can do that, educate ourselves more, and not only talk about it, but get some folk who are doing it. That's who I want to connect with, those who are interested in doing it.
Thank you.
All right. Just a general question, but not a response, because she's still within her. You have a 5 minutes. Okay. Does anybody have a question for Ms. Juanita?
Go ahead, come on.
Hello?
No.
We used to have people do that. We had people to do that for us. You're absolutely right. And my question to you is, how do you foresee us bridging that gap between the OGs and the younger people? Because I've had some experiences through this archive that blows me away about how young people are coming together and
yes, they are,
and making things happen. So how do you foresee bridging that gap in terms of creating the form of response and actions that need to be taken to accomplish what he's talking about?
Well, first of all, one of the things I would suggest is, first of all, we got to put our egos, leave those at the door.
Agree?
Amen? You got to leave those egos where they are, at the door. Come in and be willing to listen and also accept new ideas. Be willing to work with people, okay? If it's viable, we have enough people in here that have been through things. They've been through the potholes, and so they can help those who are just getting started to avoid if they listen. So let's get together, and you know somebody who you think would be a good fit. You know somebody who would listen. Bring one. It doesn't have to start with a big crowd. Look at what Gideon did. Look at Gideon. All right? So we start where we are. We don't have to have a big crowd. It doesn't take a whole lot of folk to do what needs to be done, but we can start and let it grow.
All right, we have a little over a minute, 15 seconds if anyone else has a question for Ms. Juanita. All right, Red.
Hello, Red.
Good to see you again. Good to see you.
The question is to piggyback off of pretty much, well, I'm gonna say this, not a question. The bridge the gap is just for us just to do it. Like, let's just come together. Like, let's just come. Like, after we talk here, I'm gonna be honest with you, processing and procedures, 7 days agenda, that's over. We on a new world, y'all. These kids have been taught to do instantaneous things. This process is old. All due respect, it's time to speed up just a little bit faster. Just a little bit, because these kids talk in a different language as well. You know, they say the same words, but they're on a different elevation of language. And some of us know how to speak to them. Yeah, some of us know how to really get to them. So that being said, we have to humble ourselves and utilize those that understand that. And guess what? It ain't going to look the same as what it is now. It ain't going to feel the same. It ain't going to talk the same. That aggression he got, that's what I got too. I like that. I like these type of guys. Because we sports guys. Yay. You see what I'm saying? We go get it. We pumped up. So I don't look at them as nothing. At the same token, I respect it. But again, thank you. I just had to talk on that.
All right. Appreciate you. Ms. Juanita, now we have a 5 minutes. Ms. Nancy Carter, and then we have Crispin.
Thank you so much. And you know what I'm missing here? I'm missing your city council members and your county commissioners. And I'm guilty. I'm a grandmother. I go down and babysit and I come back for a virus. And I get sick for about 3 weeks. So that's my cycle right now, and that's why I haven't been with you, because I didn't want to make you all sick. I've got stuff about Representative Alma Adams is going to have fight for food. If you can't be healthy if you're hungry. She's bringing Representative McGovern, who's her counterpart in the State Agriculture Committee, fighting for SNAP, fighting for underserved people in agriculture, getting new people in for farm, and getting people owning their own farms. This is important. Johnson C. Smith, it's the, wait a second, it's the 22nd of June from 11 to 1. We have a cap at 200 people there. They're going to be speaking. They're going to be panelists of local farmers, people working on farmland preservation. We do have 13,000 acres of farmland in Mecklenburg County and 200 farms still. They're working, recognized farms, earning a certain level of money. But we need to get down to the small farms, backyard farms, community gardens to protect these people and give them federal assistance. Let's see. If you have erosion in your backyard, please remember us. We have grants that are tied to landowners, and that means the people who own what you rent or the people who own the land you live on. If you don't have the money to match, we do have matching. Look at neighborhood grants from the city. You can use those, and you can match with volunteer hours, and you can solve your problem and not see your soil wash away, your fences go in the water, and you be rocky and have not good soil. Let's see. We're going to have a meeting on June, that meeting with Alma Adams is the 29th of June. I apologize. The 22nd of June is the rally at the Mecklenburg Courthouse. The Utilities Commission is going to be there. Duke Energy is raising your rates unforgivably. We need people to speak up whom it will impact. We desperately need a diverse audience speaking to these utility commission people like Dan Clodfelter's one. We've got to get them to know what difference this is going to be made. It's 13 to 15% for 3 years each time. It's going to be horrendous. Exactly, that's my reaction. You're kidding me. If there's risk taken, that risk needs to be paid by the people who are stockholders, not the people who use the electricity. Come on, folks. So please help us. The rally starts at 6 o'clock on the 29th, and the meeting is at 7 o'clock, and you have to sign up to speak. There's a rally. There are going to be signs. It's going to be at the courthouse. The 29th at 6 o'clock. The meeting is at 7. I'm sorry, I can't hear that. Well, we can get further.
Is
We
the
don't
rec-
have them there. It's environmentalists who are putting this together.
There's
I
a
would
rally
say-
on the 22nd or the 29th.
The 22nd is
The
the
rally.
rally.
And the
Sorry,
29th
thank
is
you.
Alma.
The 29th is Alma Adams.
Right.
Please forgive me, I'm a little old lady. But, okay, one more. 2 suggestions about wealth. Put financial management back in the schools. Number 2, if you put state, local, federal money into affordable housing, do not sunset affordability. Continue it. Never change that 10% of affordability. You have to pressure the people who make those decisions. Thank you all.
All right, we got about 30 seconds. I know we got 2 questions for Nancy. So Ms. Carlenia and Ken, quickly.
I just want to say quickly, I heard her say something about resources. I think that people come and they're interested in things that are beneficial to them. And we assume that middle class already have resources. That's not necessarily true. So anything that we can do to provide resources or help like wellness and things like that, we need to make sure we have those. You know, there are things like,
All right, that's perfect cutoff. All right, that's.
Oh, you know what, I just want to throw in, this is why we need to hear from our elected officials, because these things impact us. I know that we're starting businesses and all of that, but if your power bill is gonna go up, and I didn't know that till today, these are things, and taxes, you know, we need to know these things because they do impact us.
And Nancy Carter, if you don't know, is Soil and Water Conservation. Please see her after the forum to get more information about what she spoke on today. That's the 5 minutes. We got to talk about after. Crispin, you got your 5 minutes.
Do you think we can maybe extend the forum, like, to work with Charlotte to get maybe youth involved over there after school, maybe? Just like extend the forum to another day for the youth at West Charlotte Hospital, so they can, I guess, become involved. And I think that's a good way to kind of lead them into just different procedures and different things, just to hear. Because we have a versatile group that comes here, but just to kind of make them aware of how government works, or just different things that we talk about. Just start them early.
Let me ask you this, because I know a lot of us are near or at capacity and we're all volunteers. Do you think, Ms. Carlina, you could chime in as well, do you think there's an avenue or an opportunity to bring like juniors and seniors on a Tuesday as a field trip to the forum?
you don't know unless you ask. And this is educational, and I don't see why.
microphone.
You don't know unless you ask, and I think that's a great suggestion, because we are a forum that is supposed to be educating and getting and collaborating, getting people involved. So I think it would be a good ask of the different high schools, and especially those who are on the west side. I know I have like 6 of those high schools.
Actually, we can ask that if we have, I'm sure we will likely have a visit from our new superintendent. That would be a great question for them, for Dr. Hill, Dr. Hill, right?
Dr. Hill.
Dr. Hill to answer. So how would that kind of satisfy that?
Perfect. So why don't you ask that question? I think that's a great opportunity.
All right. Wait, Ria got a response?
Can we bring like this, like who can I sit with and we can go in and bring kids? We have kids with our organization. Like we can bring sport.
Yeah, we don't use profanity, so yeah.
What you mean for profanity? We talking about kids, right? Yeah. I said, well, our organization, we have kids. We have youth, and they may cuss outside, but I can talk to them and they won't cuss inside. Oh, okay, I ain't know, I heard it, I'm sorry. I get confused.
And to answer your question, yes, you can bring kids to the Tuesday Forum. You do not use permission. We just have a capacity for this room. And that's all that if you're gonna bring them, we just have to be at capacity when they come into this room. And see, what is the capacity?
Our marshal says 100 and we'll never get there. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You're talking about bringing 100 children. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I mean, I just want to be more involved with what's going on, whether it's 5 kids or 10, but let's grow into it.
That's no problem.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
It won't be a problem. It won't be a problem. And we heard one time that it was 52 at one point when we were sitting up this room. So we would, for the chairs and sitting around, but the capacity as far as the fire marshals are concerned, we want to make sure that we stick to that. So you can bring the kids. Yes, that's the answer to that.
Okay.
And we can make this an educational session where they actually have to go back, one of the history classes, they have to go back and actually write regarding what they actually absorbed here. So there's a way that we can incorporate this with the schools, and we'll ask when Miss Dr. Hill comes.
Okay. Make it sustainable, like a.
I want to wait a minute.
Since we started at 8:30 and high schools have to be in by 7:15, it could be a history class or an economic development class or something, and they can, a civics, thank you. It could be a civics class, and you could arrange bus transportation for that class to come over for this hour and a half as a field trip, educational field trip, and they could be back by lunchtime.
And it depends on the topic.
Right, we would make the topic appropriate for that day.
Once a month.
Yeah, once a month, we could do that, because it's real conducive to high schools, not middle schools.
Mm-hmm.
Middle schools, they come in later in the morning, and it will be, like, they don't have to be at school until 9:15. So, by the time they get there, it would be over by the time they would get over here. But a 7:15 start time is perfect.
I would just like to say, if we do something like this, it has to be well planned. So that means that you have to take some time away and sit with somebody to plan it out. It has to be very well planned.
Well, Laura, we should know in advance what group is coming, have the name tags, and maybe, have additional coffees and juice and, whatever. So yeah, we can plan that. I like that.
I think the biggest planning would be who's sitting up there, who's presenting in the topic. That would be the biggest. And then we're gonna let you work out the school part, getting here.
No, well,
not you, but the school.
We'll ask. That was her question. We're gonna give her credit, but I will be more than happy to say that day that I'll be glad to help arrange it.
All right. So does anybody else have a 5-minute stump speech or anything they would like to get off their chest, address? All right, Ms. McClay, go for it.
I do, and it's not gonna be 5 minutes, even though I'm gonna start it, but I did go to see Sarah last week, and Natalie goes on a regular basis as well, and she would like to see some of us, and Carlita and I plan to go. We have time set to go, and Mary's going too, but she would like to see some of us. She's in good spirit. She's in the chair, but she still goes to she goes to church and she goes to some funerals, but she would like to see some of us visit with her. So, and she's at the University Nursing Home, which is near the Sam's on J.W. Clay Boulevard. It's that one right there when you turn to go into Sam's over there in University. But she would like for you all for us to at least visit with her. It's a nice place. I think it's been redone, but and they're serving her well. But she's in her right mind, and she asked about everybody, and she wants to have her 98th birthday again here at Tuesday Forum. She said, I'm going to turn 98 in October, and I want to come to Tuesday Forum for my birthday. So.
And they're planning a party. There's a group that's planning a party for her 98th birthday.
Okay, but but anyway, she did, we go to see her, I know Natalie goes,
Bring
and I
her,
go.
always bring her something to eat.
Yeah.
She does love her
So,
sweets. Don't go every
right. And she has a flower is fine, but she has plenty of plants in her window. But anyway, I just had to say that to everybody.
I got something I wanted to have a discuss. Just opportunities that could potentially come from the presentations we have. So, for example, I know one of the hot button issues came from Ken's dissatisfaction of how Wexford, the group that was here the week previously, in their MWBSC, they're contractors. And I wanted to know how could we better at least advocate for people and organizations we know contribute to community to position themselves for those contractors, if not us. One, I'm sure a lot of us in this room know Bobby Drakeford.
Yeah.
Bobby Drakeford seems so ideal to be, in alignment with winning those bids for, to be on these projects. So if we could utilize this forum to these gentlemen who probably don't know, who may not know what he means to our community, we can utilize the forum as a space for advocation. Wait, I just want to know. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Ira.
I just want to add to that. Bobby is so active in helping the community.
Right.
He is so active in helping the community. I would love for us to, when Ken talks about follow-up, I don't have any problems, and as I told Bobby, write the letter. Maybe we can't say Tuesday morning forum, but I can bring the letter in, or you can bring the letter in, and anybody who wants to sign it and send it to Wexford. And that goes for others that we feel are appropriate to say that we're in support of them. Because if we don't say it, believe me, there's other communities who do it for other people.
Yes. Yes.
So you can get back to him and let him know, but I'm not writing a letter. I mean, you can write, but I will be more than happy to see, just like I bought this, to see who would be able to endorse it. And we can say we're part of Tuesday morning and not that Tuesday morning forum, but I'm an advocate for the community.
Mr. Combs. Then Chris.
Part of this whole solution comes down to our elected officials who have become over time quite absent in these forums. When we began, our elected officials were there every Tuesday morning. And now they've gotten, I would say, complacent or happy in where they are. To the issue of community, we have issues in our community right now, like with, you talk about Bobby Drakeford. If you sat down and talked to Bobby Drakeford, it would be a real sob story about the kind of support that he has gotten in the efforts and projects that he has tried to get done through the city. And that goes across even now with all of the people of color in these various positions, from mayor to city manager, police chief. It would be mind-blowing to talk to some of these black developers and others who have tried to get things done but have failed to get the kind of support necessary to get them done through people who look like them, who you and they would expect would be sensitive to being sure that they get the fair shake. And I'm doing some research now on a project that's going to happen on the west side on Bates Fort Road, where some property has just been sold, and they're going to put a doggone arcade. I did say doggone. They're going to put an arcade on this property right behind the bank and across the street from another bank, and yet they talk about economic development along the corridor, and they put an arcade. And there's another one just 1.5 blocks up the street. So where are the elected officials and the people in authority who are allowing these kinds of things to happen? And that's why we as a forum have to hold them accountable. And if you try that sometimes, well, no say.
Okay, I'm walking and I'm gonna say this. Someone has to lead this stuff. The suggestions and recommendations need to be led by someone.
Well, Mr. Penn kind of answered, to address my concern. Also, could we have a list maybe, because those guys were from other places. So sometimes developers might not know, like, could we have a list and provide them with people that maybe could benefit from some of this development? And yeah, start holding people accountable, because Tuesday morning breakfast seems to have some leverage, but it doesn't do any good if it's not used, and especially with elected officials. So just like some kind of way, if we can find a way to hold people accountable for coming in here and just saying whatever.
All right, thank you. Ms. Curley?
If you know something or see something, do something. And Ken, with what you're saying, that's a disgrace. So you are an excellent writer. I think you write that up and then you bring it here and we endorse it and say no. And then we take it, send it to every member of city council. Will it stop it? I don't know, but at least we raise the level of consciousness.
I'm a journalist, so when I write stuff, it gets published. I'm a journalist and I enjoy writing stuff, and then it gets published, and then that's my job, the fourth estate. And it's up to the rest to, and I do have a plan for how you give them an assignment and then hold them accountable and measure whether they succeed or just drop the ball on that assignment. And when election time comes around, you have a report card that says, yeah, we re-elect you, or no, you don't do anything.
Well, let us know what we can do to help.
And that's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take a plan and a process, and it's gonna take people to make any of these suggestions that we have heard this morning. Like Red has said, he asked, can I bring the children? Can I bring the kids here? We said, yes, bring them. You know, that was real simple for us to say. You know, that's real easy to do. He already has that audience. But the planning and getting the letters together, it takes a planning process. We are talkers here, and we have talkers that actually come to Tuesday Morning Forum, and they share information. And that's what we've been doing, all of this. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, it's what we've been doing. We've just been sharing information. And this morning we've had a lot of discussions. I've taken notes because we usually take notes when we have open forum, so we can consider bringing someone to the forum that would talk on these subjects or do something about these issues that and the concerns that we have. And Crispin, I know her thing and what we've talked about is holding our elected officials accountable. And we have procrastinated with sitting down with her on coming up with a plan, but her head is on right. She says it all the time. We've got to be able to service her, this youth that's with us, to come up with a way to hold the elected officials accountable. I mean, that's what we have to do, is work.
One of the things that we haven't mentioned this morning is the fact that our state senator has been censored. We need to bring these things to forum and discuss them so we'll know what we're doing when we go to vote. You know how I feel about voting. I give up everything every time it's time to vote. And I tell people who tell me, who do I vote for? I can't lose my job telling you who to vote for, particularly when there's a forum like this, when you can come and find out what the issues are. The issue of the indictment. Our former President of the United States is showing up in court this morning. We haven't said anything about that. We need to politicize our children because it starts with us.
Thank you so much, Ms. Aretha. I tell you what, we're going to take about 2 minutes for last thoughts, then we're going to go into announcements.
I'll tell you what I think.
Then Miss Nancy Carter after Miss Michelle.
Politically, we finally have to get them. Simply put.
All right.
Ms. Aretha, Tom Tillis was censored by his party because he worked with Democrats.
That's right.
That's just unforgivable. The city council is looking at over 1,000 parcels of land to sell. It's done inside the city council and inside the city with the departments. It is not public knowledge. We don't have any way to respond. The Stormwater Advisory Board, on which I serve, wrote them a letter and said, we want to be part of it. We want you all to look at what's happening with the stormwater that's flooding your areas. We were not allowed in. So this is your city council needs to say, we want public representation in this sales. That would help Bobby Draper. It would help everybody. So I've got one more thing, I'm sorry. I'll write it down, I'm an old lady. We need to work to make people accountable. I serve on the Sustainable Energy Action Plan Accountability Committee. There are 5 of us. We're holding people's feet to the fire about what they said they would do with the Bloomberg grant, moving the city to clean energy, moving it to sustainable environment. But it also has workforce development and environmental justice that we're looking at as well. So this is what you do. You get organized, you write things, you tell people on the council, the city manager, you've got to tell them what's going on in your mind. They need to know that they're accountable.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nancy. Anybody, I know Ms. Aretha, we're going to go ahead and let you start with, because it's a big weekend for you. Announcements, we're going to start those now. You want to set it off with?
Juneteenth?
Absolutely.
Juneteenth is the 19th of June every year. We do the flag raising, which we did last week, and it was very well attended. Thank you guys who attended. It's going to be, I'm going to tell you now, when it's going to be next year, in 2024, the first Monday in June, 2024. Be there. Even Pat Cotham said she learned something this year. Our whole emphasis is to teach so that our youth can learn all about Juneteenth, and we'll stop seeing all the green, red, and black and start seeing red, white, and blue.
Thank you so much. Tricia got Pat going to Juneteenth, huh?
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. Ms. Carter. Ms. Carter.
I just wanted to say, go Denver Nuggets. And I say that because 2 of Titus's former teammates, one is a scout, Jared, and Calvin Booth played with my son. And they are getting their championship ring. I am so proud of those 2 young men. Okay,
All
and
right.
the House of Africa is having Juneteenth off of Central Avenue this coming weekend on Thomas Avenue, the House of Africa.
And also for the struggle is having Juneteenth on Senior Drive. They have the whole Senior Drive blocked off.
This is this coming Saturday, so
Saturday.
we can all be out to celebrate.
Ken, being read, and we're going to close it out.
I don't remember the brother's name, but I met him Sunday, and he is the guru of black events in Charlotte. And if you don't know him, you need to get to know him, because Sunday, for instance, there were 32 black events going on in Charlotte. And this is that connection I talk about between young folk and us in terms of being able to connect and know what's going on. I'll have his name next week and a way to connect.
All right, Red's gonna finish it, then we're gonna close it out.
And while I'm walking, I'm gonna tell you that we have a State Farm agency. My son owns it, and if you need any insurance, please give us a call.
I go ahead, Red.
This Sunday, it's going to be a Daddy Duties event. It's an artist by the name of Zay the Goat, which is from Charlotte, and his father is actually a manager. These are folks that's in the industry, entertainment business. But this Sunday, from 1 to 5, it will be a family field day. And the young man, this is actually his nonprofit. It's called Daddy Duties, and they want to start encouraging, young fathers to start, putting more time and care into the family. And also, within this engagement, we will continue to build through mental health. We'll continue to build also, with trauma and dealing with law, education, dealing with just the back end. So again, that is Daddy Duties Field Day, 1 to 5. The location will be at Dorada, and that's going to be at 4920 West Sugar Creek Road. And that's Daddy Duties Field Day.
All right, thank you so much, Thomas.
I just wanted to share my nephew is the incoming president of the Harvard Alumni Association. He will take office July the 1st. His name is Tracy Tyrone Moore II, and I was shocked when we received that information. My nephew.
On that note, can you play us out, Thomas? Thank you so much for attending. Today is Tuesday Morning Forum. We will see you next week where we have a very special presentation, which will be a surprise. So come on.